What's going on, guys? Welcome to the P Pod. I'm your host, Malachi Polson, and today we have our first guest, Alex Douglas from Trinity College.
Thank you, Brent.
Of course. Now, brief overview on Alex Douglas. Went to Friends Academy, laid down a great foundation for a winning program, won 2 conference championships in his time there. Senior season was cut short by COVID, which led him to Trinity College, where his first year they went 16-9, second year 16-9, third year 30-2, lost in the Final Four, and then last year's final year they went 30-3 and captured the national championship. Now, Alex, can you talk to us today about what was that feeling like winning the national championship?
There's nothing like it. From when I got to college, my freshman year, we kind of talked about what it takes to build a winning program and just laying the foundation for 2 years. You don't always see the rewards of winning right away. And like the habits that it takes a long time to build. So just kind of finally seeing all that hard work come to fruition, it's a feeling that you can't really describe. It's special, super special.
That's awesome. Now, can you just talk about Friends Academy? Like, what does that place mean to you, and what does Friends Academy basketball mean to you?
I mean, especially the point at the program that I got there kind of in a transitional period, going from one head coach to another. My freshman year, I played for Coach Heffley. He was like a Long Island great head coach. He left after my freshman year where we had a pretty good season. I think we went 15-5 or something like that. Had two all conference players, got to this quarter semifinals, lost to Sewanaka. Had a really good year, and then Coach Heff and Trey Alexander left, obviously, and we lost some other pieces. So it's kind of a rebuilding year. Coach Johnson came in, just I don't know, sticking it out with him. He's still one of my mentors, one of my closest friends, one of my guys that I go to if I ever need anything. And it's just a special place. And the time I got there was a special time. And the people I met there kind of made my basketball experience in a way. Like those are still all my closest friends, all my mentors that I met at that place. It means a lot to me. The place means a lot.
I can agree. You know what I mean? A couple FA alumni get into it. But end of junior year, this is the time when I was on the team because they moved me up from JV because I couldn't play that year. So I was practicing with you guys, and I started to see, the culture build. And then we got eliminated by Elmont, and then 2 days later, the entire season was shut down because of COVID.
Yeah.
So when COVID happened, how did your mindset kind of change? Because for you, this is your junior year going into your senior. This is the biggest time for you to get recruited. Prep school is definitely an option for some kids who are kind of late bloomers. So what's your thoughts on reclassing, and why didn't you reclass? And do you have any advice for kids who are on the fences like, I'm really good, but I know I have it in me, but it's not coming out yet, but I still want to play in college. Like, what are your 2 cents on that?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in my time working for Made Hoops talking to some high school kids about reclassing and whether or not they should, the prep route. And I definitely say the prep route from someone who didn't do it, it works for a lot of people. Like it does make sense for a lot of people. I was fortunate enough to not do it and my career still work out. There's circumstances where I think guys should go prep and shouldn't. And there's a lot of nuance to that. But for me, it didn't seem like the right decision. I would have reclassed and prepped, and I wanted to try to win a state championship with the guys that I played with for 4 years. And I felt like we had a pretty good chance to do that. So I stayed. And honestly, it was a great decision for me. I went to college at 18. It really challenged me. It was a time I went to my freshman year of college was 21, 22. So it was a time where there was a lot of 23, 24-year-olds in college. So going in at 18, it's definitely a physicality adjustment, getting pushed around for the first few weeks of practice. I think we had 2 5th years on my team that year and a bunch of seniors that had reclassed in high school that were 23, 24. And it was definitely an adjustment. And there were times where I was like, I wish I did just do a prep year. I was the only player on the team at the time that was 18. So there were definitely years where I wish I did do a prep year and I wish that I did kind of take that route to adjust. I think going through the 4 years and doing it the way I did it, it challenged me to improve at a faster rate. And it challenged me. I've seen kids that will go and redshirt at a college for a year and kind of use that as their prep year. And I've seen that work out. I just think going to college, whenever you have the opportunity to go to college, is good. That it worked out for me, and obviously not everybody has the means to do that, and some guys need a prep year. And I think that in certain circumstances that does work out for guys. But I was just one of the guys that was fortunate enough to not need it and still have a pretty successful college career and still kind of enjoy the college basketball experience without having to go that route.
No doubt. Now, to talk about, you said you were 18 when you first got there. Now, let's talk about when I visited you. That was the beginning of my junior year. What would you say to 18-year-old Alex Douglas at Trinity when I visited you in September? Like, what's the difference that 4 years? Like, what is Alex Douglas today? Graduated national championship on his belt. Hit a freshman Alex Douglas. What do you say to him?
Honestly, you just keep chopping wood, like keep going. You see a lot of adversity in those 4 years, injuries, just stuff like that that just make you at times like, why am I still playing? Why am I? But just keep going. Like I feel like I got hurt a few times during college, and like, especially when I broke my hand, it was tough. Kind of wanting to be at practice every day, wanting to be there every day, but just there's always rewards to doing the right thing, like going in with a good attitude. There's always you might not see it right away, but the good that you do stacks. So just keep having good days, work on your game every day, even if you don't see the rewards right away. Like I kind of felt like I did, even when I didn't play, even when I wasn't having the best statistical year, having the best statistically shooting seasons. Like I just kept going to the gym every day even when I didn't feel like it. So I feel like that's the most important advice I'd give to myself because if you do that, I feel like everything worked out for me. Everything will work out for most people that take that route, even when the rewards aren't showing right away.
That's awesome. That's great insight. So you obviously ended up at Trinity College in Connecticut. So for the people who don't really understand the levels to basketball, obviously Division 1, full ride, Division 2, you can still get some money, partial, athletic, and D3. There's absolutely no type of financial help your school can offer. So people get like this misconception that like D3 basketball is sweet. I'm just call it spade a spade. People think, oh, you play D3, like you get to walk in the park. So can you please talk about what is the culture like at the highest level of Division 3 basketball?
I mean, not every culture is like our culture at Trinity. Obviously, certain Division threes are different, and there are levels to basketball at the end of the day. Like there, but I've seen. I mean, we've played with guys that growing up that have been pros, Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, and some of the highest level basketball games I've seen have been NCAA Division 3 tournament games. When we played Tufts my junior year and the NCAA tournament, just the pace of that game, how up and down that game was, some of the plays that people like Henry and Jarrell made throughout that game. I think Dana made some big time plays. BD had a few big time plays. Like just that whole game, I'm sitting there watching, thinking like this is faster paced, higher level than some EYBL, some Division 1, some low level pro games that I've seen. Like this pace is insane. The shot making in this game has been insane. The Wesleyan game this year at Wesleyan, the stretch during that championship game where I think Drew scored 12 points. I think Henry had a few big plays. Like Shane Regan and Nikki Johnson made some huge shots down that stretch. There was like a 5 minute stretch where, I mean, we're the best defensive team in the country. Wesleyan's up there. And I think there was like 15 points in like 3 minutes scored between those two teams of like against high level defenses and like good shot contests and good rotations and guys just making tough shots. Like the level of basketball at the higher levels of D3, the talent is there. The size and the athleticism sometimes obviously is not there, even though some of the most athletic people I've met, again, play Division 3. But sometimes the size and athleticism are still there, but especially the guard play and the wing play is very, 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 very transferable to higher levels. Like we've seen, especially in our conference, there have been a lot of guards and wings, especially wings, that have transferred up to low and mid-major Division 1s and been really successful. Ben from our team transferred to Binghamton, had a good year. I know a few years ago, Sam Peake transferred to Stetson, had a really good year, ended up playing in the G League. Definitely had a few guys, especially from the NESCAC and the UAA and the other higher level Division 3 leagues that just transfer up and still contribute and still you watch the We Are D3 team in the TBT, I think make it to the Final Four, the final, beat Syracuse, beat a bunch of good Division 1 alumni. Like the level of basketball here is still there. The high level players are still there. The talent is still there. And sometimes people just have to sit and watch and maybe go to a game in person to really see that. And it might not be as accessible or might not be on ESPN, but I mean, pretty sure our game against NYU is ESPN Game of the Year. There's high level games at this level.
Very true. I remember I was watching you guys on your run, and I was watching the teams. I was following teams. I was watching NYU play, Wesleyan play. They had a nail biter against, I believe, it was Emory in the tournament. That game was insane.
We won. We won. I think we had beat, that was the Elite Eight. So we either beat Kings, no, not King State. King State was around the 32. I think we beat Catholic. We beat Catholic, and their game started an hour later than ours. So we won
Yeah,
like the last 5 minutes of their game against them. Like,
that
so
game was great. That
freshman.
was great
Yeah,
basketball. So can you just talk about the tournament? Like, what does that atmosphere like entail? You guys had great home court advantage for the first couple games,
very lucky.
but what does it mean to just play on those courts and share the court with all Americans? Like, how has that shaped your mindset?
Well, I mean, obviously Henry and Jarrell, they're some of the best players in the country. I mean, the talent in that program throughout the 4 years that I've been there. Even my freshman and sophomore year, we went 16-9. Like I played with some really, really good players. Played with Donald Jordan, who was an All-American, I think, the year before I got there. We're borderline All-American. Shot like 68% from the field. It was like 14 points a game. Really, really good my freshman year. Played with Ben, obviously, who was All-American for a year. Came from Tulane. Played with Henry and Jarrell. I played with a lot of really, really good players at Trinity. The NCAA tournament is definitely an experience. There's been 2 years now that I've seen it. I felt like I knew what it was as an underclassman. Like I felt like I knew the stakes. I knew like how talented certain teams could be. Felt like I'd seen high level basketball before. But I mean, our first NCAA tournament game against Utica, there was a point in the game where that game was a dogfight. Like I think we ended up winning that game by like 25 points. But there was a point in the first half where like I think Justice Brantley drove middle and threw a lob to Damian Call. Damian Call caught it, dunked it, and luckily we got a charge. But I think that lob would have put them up two early in the game, and like it was a dogfight for the first 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, that Utica team was unbelievable. Played
I
against them
mean,
my freshman year.
and they were experienced, and it was our first
Exactly.
NCAA.
Physical, extremely physical.
It was our first, everyone on the roster's first NCAA tournament game,
Okay.
and I think we lost one game that year up to that point. Our first round matchup was a team with 4 losses, 3 losses. They had 3 losses on the year. Like it's not a fun first round matchup. So I feel like we got thrown into the fire pretty fast. And I think we learned pretty fast. It doesn't matter who you play in the NCAA tournament. Like we played Newman to begin the year this year. Like we lost 2 games, 3 games at that point this year. And you think when you're a 2 loss team going into the NCAA tournament, you're gonna have a cakewalk in the first round. They put up a fight, and
Yep.
we didn't play well in that game. You lose that game. The same way if we don't play well against Utica, you lose to Utica. Like that's how upsets happen. And I think that
Hmm.
until you get to the NCAA tournament, you kind of don't realize that no team that plays bad wins. Like, it doesn't happen. You have to play good to win, no matter who you play, because everyone's good. It's like,
Yep.
I mean, 2 years, what, NCAA tournament games later, 9 NCAA tournament games later, you definitely see a lot of high level teams that you don't expect. I had never heard of Newman until we played them this year, and they earned all of our respects, especially early in that
Yep.
game. Same thing with Utica. Like a lot of guys I'm from New York, so I know where Utica is, but a lot of guys on our team didn't really know about Utica, and they came in and they put up a fight, and like a lot of teams do in that at that point in the year, everyone's good. So that's the biggest lesson I think from the NCAA tournament. As far as playing with all Americans, like Henry, especially from when I met him, Henry's the most obsessive person I've ever met. As far as like every rep has to be perfect, and Jarrell's the same way about different things in his game. But like for example, when Henry spot shoots, certain amount of reps have to be swishes, certain amount of reps have to be this way, and like he'll freak out. Like if he needs to finish shooting, and he needs to get his reps the way that they need to be done before he has to leave the gym. And like I don't know, that level of obsessiveness, and everyone in our program, I feel like, is extremely obsessive about the details, and that's what's made us good on both sides of the floor. Like defensively, everyone's super obsessed about the correct rotation, like playing hard, getting every loose ball, all that stuff that like coaches preach. I feel like everyone in our program is super obsessed with that. When it comes to especially the guys that have produced, I felt like we should have had 3 All-Americans on our team. I thought Drew was excellent this year, just as good and just as instrumental in how good we were as Jarrell and Henry were. Obviously, there's only a certain amount of spots, but I think they're gonna have probably 3 first team guys next year. Henry, Drew, and Jarrell. And being around those 3 guys and everybody else in our program, like everybody works hard. Even the guys that don't play work hard. Like, work harder than any guys I've ever met in any other program. Like Polito, Harley, Ben God, those guys all work really hard. Sam, David plays. All the guys that don't get as many minutes as they should be getting and they would be getting in other programs we have guys on the scout team that can go to other teams in the NESCAC and play rotation. But
Yeah.
they've committed to coming here and making our program better and winning. And that's what's really special about this group. What's really special about everyone's attitude towards basketball is no one cares who gets the credit. It's never like
Mm,
I did it, it's we did it. Like, we won
mm.
the game. No
So
one cares. And the all Americans and the guys that lead the way scoring and statistically those guys also have that same attitude. That's what's really special. Like if the guys that are scoring 15 points a game don't care who scores, no one cares. And I feel like that's been a huge part of us being good.
yeah. So can you touch on that part again when you said the guys who don't play at all, arguably work hard than some of the guys who do play. I feel like that's such an overlooked aspect of the college basketball grind and the transition from high school. In high school, everybody's a man. I know it's cliche. Everybody hears it when they get to school, like, oh, everybody's a man. You got to earn. But that is true. You're going from you can potentially a program where all 4 years from a freshman from you're 14 when you're 18 give you the ball, do whatever you want. It's your show. But then you're transitioning. You can be the youngest guy, like in your case. In my case, I was the youngest guy on my team. You're 18 years old, playing with 22, 23, sometimes 24, 25, and you have to fit in. You have to find your niche to play. You have to be uncomfortable all the time. Your body's not used to lifting 3 times a week. You have to go to class. You're waking up early for class. So how can you give some insight on how, like, you have all these new challenges, new schedules, your body feels different, but then you're still putting in that extra work knowing you may not touch the floor, and talk about how that is the most selfless thing you can do for your team.
I think it comes from a few places. I think in the guys in our program, the guys in Trinity's program specifically, like I just think they love basketball so much that like they want to be in the gym. Like I know a lot of guys that just like they wouldn't have anything to do if they like during their free time they didn't go to the gym. Like that's how they enjoy their time. I love being in the gym. A lot of guys, I'd say almost everybody, if not everybody on Trinity's roster, just loves being in the gym. So that's the first place that it comes from. I think the second place that it comes from is like wanting to be as good in practice as possible because we're all competitors like, at the end of the day. And I feel like when everyone has a certain level of like competitive spirit, and I've seen it happen multiple times where there's guys that maybe come to school and they aren't in the gym as much as everybody else. First, they come in September and everyone else is working out twice a day and they might only get in 3 times a week. That first few weeks when there's nothing. Like we don't have to work out if we don't want to. Division 3, you don't have everything's optional. You don't have to go to lift if you don't want to.
Optional.
Optional,
Optional.
but
Keyword.
especially the first 2 weeks, like when everyone's getting used to their classes and stuff, like a lot of times we wouldn't have anything until the third week of school. Those first 2 weeks, some guys might not work out as much. We start playing pickup, and some guys aren't playing as well. And some guys are getting baked every time on defense, and some guys aren't in shape and they're not getting up and down the floor. And I feel like we're all so competitive that it kind of like after the first day of pickup, when you're getting your ass kicked, you're gonna get in the gym because you're not gonna want to get embarrassed every day. And like
Facts.
especially the way our practices are run, especially like the type of people we are. Like I mean, you played with me. If you're not performing, and me and you are going at it, and I'm having my way. I'm gonna let you know. And most of the people on our team are the same way. So you get sick of that to a point, and it's like, all right, I
Definitely.
have to get in the gym. I have to improve. Like I can't come in the gym every day and lose every single drill. Like that eats at people, especially competitive people. And I think that's the second place that it comes from. Of like everyone loves basketball to begin with. Everyone is super competitive, and our practices are super competitive. And all of our practices, every drill we do in practice, from like our warm up drills, almost everything has a score. Almost everything is attached to you win or lose. Like almost everything is a competitive drill. So it comes from a place of loving basketball, competing, and then just they do a good job of recruiting kids that work hard. If you recruit kids that work hard and are coachable, you're a good coach and you know what you're doing, like that staff is. Run the program the right way and just kind of work, 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 work. Eventually, you'll get a group of people that we got in there, which a lot of talented individuals that work hard, and you have a good system in place like we do, and all the dominoes fall right into place.
Definitely, definitely. I feel like when you have that competitive environment, you're forced to perform
Yeah,
even on the days you don't want to. Like there's no days you don't want to because you want to win every day.
yeah.
So I feel like you guys are competing, competing, competing. When you guys come to playing other people who don't have on Trinity, it's like, oh, like it's a wrap because I've been going at these 17 guys every day, pushing them to maximum fatigue. And when it's time to play together, you guys know it's a common goal. So I feel it's a really beautiful thing,
And
and that's
I think especially because our practices are so competitive to the point where like,
yeah,
we're butting heads constantly. Like if I can damn near fight with someone who I spend every single day with. Like we kind of played with a like I don't care about anybody else's feelings. Like if I don't care about the
that's
guys I played with in practice, I don't care about you. Like I'm gonna run through you. I'm gonna go get this
exactly
rebound. I don't care if I hit you. I don't care if I knock you over. I feel like I mean we play that brand of basketball in practice against each other. I'm not gonna care if I knock you out going for a rebound. I'm not gonna care if we're on a loose ball and I throw you to the side. Like I don't care. We didn't care. We were
facts.
competitive and physical and we worked hard and we ended up outworking guys, but it was because of competitive, the competitive nature of our practices of being so locked in and just being good, trying to win every drill. Like everyone wanted to win every single drill, whether it was a sprint, guys are racing in sprints when they lose. We lose a drill and we're running, but the losing team are racing each other trying to win. Like that type of culture, that type of
Yeah,
wanting to win.
that definitely is like infectious. Tournament run again. So you had an injury right before the season, not coming to a close, but pivoted from regular season to playoff competitive play. What was your injury? How did that change your perspective? And you could have took two roads. You could have took the high road or the low road. And which road did you choose? And why do you think you chose that road?
So I broke three bones in my hand. I broke my second, third, and fourth metacarpal. So the bones that connect my finger to my hand, I broke the index, middle, and ring finger. So it was kind of it was a freak accident. Like the doctor said he had never seen anything like that injury happen in that way. My hand like got caught in a jersey, got caught in Henry's jersey, and like he went
Jeez.
to spin as my hand got caught and like just snapped it backwards. So I ended up having to get surgery a week after. That whole time was kind of hazy. Ended up having to get surgery like a week and a half after. Happened like 2 days after senior day. So I think we played Saturday. I think it happened on Tuesday. So we practiced Monday, and then it happened in practice on Tuesday. I went to the games that weekend. We only played one game. We played Bates that weekend. I went to that game, and then the next weekend I had surgery, like in the middle of the week. So I missed the trip up to Colby and Bowdoin, and then that was the end of the regular season, I believe. Like I missed the trip up to Colby and Bowdoin, and then the NESCAC playoffs started the week after that, and they played Colby again. So I missed like the last three regular season games playing. I missed going to two of them, and then I was at everything after that. I had my surgery, and then after about I think the day before we left to go to the Final Four was the day I got cleared to play. So that was like the time frame of how long I was hurt. But I hadn't done any physical therapy up to that point. Like I just got my splint off like 2 days before that. I hadn't had any physical therapy up to that point. Like I couldn't close my hand at all. And like I could shoot a basketball and like kind of dribble a basketball, but I didn't. I kind of had to and I'm still relearning how to use my hand because it was like immobile for so long. I didn't want to, obviously, I didn't bring my stuff to Indiana to suit up. Like I didn't suit up at all. But it was a mental test, like a lot of college was. Like it being my last year, it sucked at first, especially like driving to the hospital, not knowing what it was, not knowing if it was dislocated or broken. 'Cause I think if it was dislocated, I would have just had to get like the bone snapped back into place, take like a week off, and then I would have been able to play. But like it hurt when it happened. So I kind of figured it wasn't dislocated. And like me and Henry heard it crack. So like we kind of figured it was broken. But the
Yeah.
trainer at first thought it was just like dislocated because of how the bone looked. So
Yep.
not knowing was definitely a test. And then like coming back from the ER, like just talking to our assistant coach was like, take as much time as you need, but like we still need you. Like we still need you
Mm.
to be around. So that was kind of like a lot of the driving force of like why I took the road I did. But at
Yep.
the same time, I've invested so much into that program. Like I'm not just gonna leave it where it is because I got hurt. Like I'm still gonna see it through. Like I put
Definitely.
up to that point like 3 years and 9 months into that program. Like I gave it everything I had. So I wanted to see it to its full potential. So I kind of just tried to keep a positive attitude and do what I can to help. We only had one assistant coach, so if he needed help, he needed help working guys out. If he needed help, he needed me to watch a certain team because we didn't know which team we were going to play in the NCAA tournament. He needed me to watch a team for him or watch a game for him. I'd watch it. Like whatever I could do to help, whatever scout I could help give him, whatever guys I could help work out. Like him and Coach Kaz, our assistant coach, Coach King, and Coach Kaz kind of started putting more and more trust into me as the postseason started to go on, and I tried to help him in a way. It
Yeah,
obviously
that's awesome.
the guys start listen to me. I've been there for a while, and they knew that I'm not going to tell them anything that's not for the greater good of us, them, and the program. Like I care about all those guys individually as much as I care about all those guys and all the program together. So they gave me an insane amount of trust, and I just had to work hard and do it with that.
Yeah, that's beautiful, and I feel like you're not given a battle that you can't handle. Especially, I've known you since I was 8 years old. Like you're pretty hard headed, you're pretty stubborn, but that's a great trait to have. You're never gonna take no for an answer, and the fact that you're able to see the high road and just realize, like you said earlier, it's we, not me, and you're still competing. You're still competing. You're still showing up every day like everybody else. I feel that was really beautiful and it's really inspiring. And can you just talk about, some people who are in that situation, like I was my senior year. I broke my foot. It felt like the end of the world. It wasn't. But can you talk about how the mental aspect, how that really challenged you, and what are things that you did? Like, did you journal? Did you read? Did you pray? Like, did you talk to your family? Could you give some advice on anybody going through any mental hurdle when it feels like, the world's coming to a close?
When I first got hurt, I'm someone who isolates definitely a lot more than is probably healthy. So when I first got hurt, like I think I broke my hand on Tuesday, went to the doctor Tuesday night, like went to the ER, like the orthopedist, whatever. Came back, I didn't say a word. Like I went in the shower. One of my roommates told me like put the shower because I had a cast. Like they put me in a cast for a week. So like help me put the shower bag on my hand. I'm also one of those people that hate being dependent on other people. Like I'm very independent. Like I didn't have a hand. Like I couldn't use my hand. So like, I have to ask people to, like tie my shoe. I have to ask people to help me put
Yep.
stuff on. Like I hate that. That frustrates me
Yeah.
to be honest. So first of all, I started just wearing slippers and Crocs. Like I didn't wear sneakers because I didn't want people like having to ask people to tie my shoe. I just like for Wednesday, Thursday, I didn't really go anywhere. And then Friday we went to bait, so I like went with the team. But I was like half asleep because I was on painkillers at the time, or not painkillers, but like a bunch of Advil and Tylenol, just because like they couldn't do anything until I got surgery. Like they couldn't give me anything until I got surgery. So I was like tired all the time anyway. It was tough. And then after like a week, I just started like really look at myself in the mirror and just being like, this is your senior year. Like, you have to have fun at least. Like, do what you can. Like, just keep trying to do what you can. And it was definitely like a hurdle. But for me, I think that the best part of it was just like trying to start a new journey, trying to giving myself something to do. So, like, even now, it's been like trying to get back into shape, trying to get playing again. Like, I've been almost playing every day, playing a pickup every time I can, almost relearning how to play basketball, relearning how to use my left hand. And like, I'm always someone that's been very like, I need something to do. Like I need a task to get better at. And like I like improving at a task over time. And I like always trying to find new things to improve at. So like now trying to like I loved getting better at basketball, but like trying to relearn how to use my left hand, like score with my left hand, like starting back from the beginning. I kind of flipped that to like kind of having fun with it, kind of working with myself and starting over. And that's kind of the way I looked at it. Once I got hurt, it was okay, I'm hurt. But now, like, how can I get better at, like, I want to be a coach. So, like, how can I get better at coaching? Like, how could I get,
Mm.
and just challenging myself the way I kind of stop thinking about it as a negative. But it's always hard. Certain people do things differently. Some people cope with things differently. For me, every time something bad has happened in my life, I've found something to like almost obsess over. And that might not be the most healthiest way to deal with things, but that's the way I felt like has been successful for me. So like there have been points in my life and bad things have happened and I've overcompensated with basketball and I've just played basketball all day and like been in the gym all day and that's helped me. Like obviously
Mm.
I'm hurt. I can't be in the gym all day. So like now what am I gonna do? So I was watching film all day. I was like coming up with offensive concepts, trying to come up with offensive concepts all day, like trying to watch different teams, trying to work on like how I scout and picking up on player tendency, stuff like that. Just finding something to improve at, even though I can't go to the gym. That was the best way for me to deal with it. Now I feel like my game has gotten better. Like even though I'm not playing in college, like when I play in a pro am or when I play in tournaments or when I even play pickup, like I just feel like I'm a much smarter basketball player than I was when I got hurt.
Mm.
And that was because I took a new challenge. I was like, okay, I want to be the smartest player I can be now because I can't play right. So I want to know everything. I want to be able to recognize coverages right away. I want to be able to, if we're playing a certain team and they run a certain offensive concepts, like I should be able to sniff out their concepts before they even call it, like stuff like that, and just challenging myself to improve and stuff like that. That's how I dealt with
Definitely, that's a dope way to kind of retrain your mind when you're going through a tough time. Is to hone in, like double down almost, just bet on yourself again and turn it to something other than what you started doing. And that's like really the whole point of the podcast and us having these conversations is that basketball is going to bring you to different avenues, different streets, bring you to the door, but it's got to be you yourself as a person opening those doors and bringing other people with you so you guys could create something different. And I feel like every time I see you, we go to work out, you're bringing somebody new with you, and I feel that's really beautiful. So can you talk about how building relationships has helped you not in just life but in your basketball journey?
Well, I mean, especially like trying to get into coaching and trying to be around basketball, relationships are everything. Like, and that's why like the biggest thing I've learned from playing for Coach Kaz, just like do everything the way you want to be remembered. Like the Nick Saban speech about being the best street sweeper you can be. Like no matter what you're gonna do, like do it to your best ability because you don't know who's watching. You don't know who you're helping out. Like if say I'm working out with somebody that like maybe they haven't even made their high school team yet. And, like I'm giving them a half-ass effort. Like, A, that's not fair to them. B, like who knows who that person can become? Who knows like, the type of relationship you can build with that person? That person could end up becoming one of your closest friends just because you gave them a full effort. Like just trying
Facts.
to give everyone and be as positive and as helpful to everybody that I can be because ultimately, like, you're in this for the relationships that you build. Like, you play sports, you do all this stuff. Relationships are everything. So just trying to be as helpful and as positive with everybody as you can be and build those relationships. And I feel like people see that and people gravitate towards that. So building those relationships have been everything for me. Like the guys I played with at Trinity are my closest friends. Like guys I played with at friends are my closest friends. Like, building those relationships through basketball.
Definitely. And that's kind of how I got to friends. You know what I mean? Like, you definitely, that's one of my favorite stories. So, for people who don't know, I'm from Bayshore, still live in Bayshore. This is being recorded in Bayshore. Bayshore native. Love Bayshore. Do not get me wrong. But, I was playing at a AU tournament at Friends Academy. Alex was running the clock, game management. Coach Johnson does a great job of getting people paid. Like, if you're in high school, you want to make a couple $100, ask Coach Johnson about running an AU tournament. He's going to get you right. So, one thing leads to another. Me and CJ Williams, who plays at Vanderbilt football right now, offensive line, we're on the same Rising Stars team. Alex is like, Johnson, like, you have to watch these kids play. He's insisting on it. Again, very stubborn. He's insisting on it. So Johnson finally caves in, watches us play. And then after he's like, listen, he goes, I know you live pretty far, but just take this brochure. Looked at it with my family. Long story short, ended up at Friends. Had a great career. Met some guys. Won a lot of basketball games, and it's been a great journey. And I feel like that's a lot of credit to Alex Douglas. Just him being a selfless person. Like he could have been like, Coach, give me my $250. Like, let me put my AirPods on. Let me just get. It's a long day. You're there from 8 to 5,
Right.
Saturday and Sunday.
I was sick of losing. That was the year we lost too much. I couldn't lose no more.
Yeah. And that all ties in to what we were saying in the beginning about when you first get to campus and coach is like, I know you're good. I know you're the man. I know you're Mr. In Arkansas. I know you're that guy. But you're a freshman. I need you to play 10 minutes of the hardest defense you've ever played in your life.
We might
And you're going to get no sets ran for you.
not.
And you have to be okay with that. And I feel that's the biggest hurdle. But again, being a good person goes a long way. Being a good teammate goes a long way. So if you're able just to, kind of take your licks,
And
play those 10 minutes as much as you can.
see it as a new challenge. Like
Exactly.
I was someone that in high school got every play that I wanted. I could shoot whatever I wanted, and I got to
Hmm.
school and I didn't get any shots. And instead of complaining, like I saw it as like, okay, let me become the best defender I can be. Let me become the best rebounding guard I can be. Let me become the best teammate I can be. Let me be as efficient as I can be with the least amount of dribbles. Like I feel like seeing it as a new challenge again. Working at okay, staying in front of guys, getting over screens instead of working on shooting all day. Working on whatever your role is going to be, seeing it as a new challenge and becoming the best version of that you can be. And still work on your game on the side. Like, you want to work on your mid range, like work on your mid range. You work on your catch and shoot, you
Definitely.
work on that. But be the best in your role that you can be. That's the most important thing when it comes to basketball right now. At every level, in college, role players getting recruited, in the NBA,
Definitely. And that's how you unlock more trust, honestly.
role players getting paid. Look at Ryan. Ryan's gonna have a 12-year NBA career. Ryan's gonna have a 10 to 12-year NBA career. He might not ever like
Shoot 30 shots in a game.
more than 15 shots a game. He might not ever shoot more than 12 shots a game. He might have a 15-year NBA career because he bought
Yeah.
into what. And Ryan's a perfect example of whatever he needs to. You need him to do. He's going to do. He went to Virginia. Tony Bennett told him, "I don't need you shooting the ball 10 times." He went and was a ACC All Defensive Team member multiple times, and yeah, now he's a millionaire and an NBA player, living out his dream. Just be
Doing the
a
little things, doing
star,
things that no one wants to do.
become a star in your role and everything.
Definitely. Definitely. So, we're on the topic of starring in your role. Can you tell us what's next for Alex Douglas after Trinity?
So I'm going to be a graduate assistant at Rutgers Newark in New Jersey.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Super excited to get started with those guys and Jack and continue to just try to win as much as we can, continue to improve. So I have those guys starting in the end of August, beginning of September. Until then, I worked for Made Hoops for the spring and part of the summer as an intern. So I got to travel, see a lot of basketball, meet a lot of people. like we talked about, like building those relationships. And I've just been training guys. I've been in Boston right now. I'm going to be in Maine tomorrow, Maine and New Hampshire tomorrow. I got the chance to work with a top 50 kid yesterday. I've been working, helping out Hoop and Mitch, the trainer, Mitchell Kirsch. She played at Babson. Um, he trains a bunch of NBA and high level high school and college guys. Got to play pickup with some high level college guys and NBA guys yesterday. Terrence Mann played, so should be in the gym at some point this week with Mitch, and I should be helping out with that. So just trying to learn, especially working with Mitch, trying to learn as much as possible. I'm just there taking notes. I have my notebook, taking as many notes as possible, watching stuff that like Terrence Mann played yesterday, watching stuff, watching details in his game. But hopefully, if I get to work with Duncan Robinson, Georges Niang, and those guys, watching how elite NBA shooters like that, their adaptability, their understanding of getting the space, their understanding how to get their shot off, how their shot mechanics look, inconsistent but consistent shooters like Duncan Robinson's shot mechanics are. Just trying to pick up and learn as much as possible. That's what I've been doing the past few months. I've been in Baltimore here. I was in Jersey for a while. I was in PA for a while. So just trying to travel and learn as much as I can until I start. It's been my journey for the past few months.
That's dope. I'm excited to follow you guys in your coaching journey and also in your training journey. I know you work with CJ, Trinity guy, bucket.
Another uber talented Division 3 player that does not get enough credit he
Definitely.
gets.
So definitely. So can you shine some light on the made hoop circuit? Because I feel like kids kind of get lost in the circuit battle. I know there's Puma, there's New Balance, obviously EYBL, Adidas, Under Armour. Like you have these shoe circuits where you guys peach jam. Like I remember when I was a senior, I played on the hoop group circuit. I was seeing on my for you page, yo, if you're not at peach jam, you're not a real hoop. Like
Yeah.
how do you? What is the message you want to give the kids that playing on the made hoop circuit or playing on a circuit that's not as well known, and just stay the course, and you're gonna get if you're good, schools are gonna find you. So can you just how can you express that?
These coaches' jobs at the end of the day, especially recruiting coordinators, their job is to find talent. Like they get paid to find talented basketball players. So if you're a talented basketball player, there's thousands of people getting paid to find you. They're gonna find you. It's gonna happen. I was definitely one of those kids that like I would have benefited from a circuit in between. When I was in high school, it was you're playing sneaker circuits, which there were years where I chose to sit on the bench of sneaker circuit team play just because I wanted to be on the sneaker circuit. And then there were, I think there was one year at high school where I decided to play with Rising Stars, but because the made hoop circuit didn't exist yet, hoop group was in the beginning of their stages of making a circuit. There was no real in between intermediate circuit. We just played in like independent tournaments. We didn't play in any circuit one year. So there, I was someone who would have definitely, definitely benefited from that. But I would say though, there's a lot of talented guys in that circuit. Team New England was great. Team White Mamba was great. Yeah, Team Takeover, who won it all, the 17s, they were great. Rising Stars 16s with Ian, he was great. There's a lot of talented players in that circuit. There's a lot of guys getting Division 1, Division 2, Division 3 love in that circuit. There's a lot of coaches in the gym. It's not only the sneaker circuit that has coaches in the gym. Coach Cal was in the gym at one of the majors. That's you got high majors in the gym at a lot of these events. I was sitting with Hofstra for a little bit, one of the Hofstra assistants. Fairfield's there, Sacred Heart's there. So you have all level of schools there. You have definitely the amount of talented players that can get scholarships and get different looks to different levels. And you have a competitive edge because you're playing sometimes on weekends that those live period teams are not playing. So the high major coaches can come watch. And if you're a guy that you're Division 1, but you might not be high major, those coaches are not going to EYBL. They're not going to Adidas. They're not going to Under Armour. Like this a lot of low major coaches are not going to UIBL. They're going to made hoops now because they're going to go find the best players. The circuit that might be a little bit below as far as coverage, but the quality of players just as good. They're going to go grab those guys. So there's places now, and I feel like it's benefiting a lot of players. There's places in AAU for everybody now. You go find a circuit that fits you. And I suggest don't go chase the sneaker circuit. Like play where you're going to play and you're wanted and you're going to look your best and you're going to be valued. That's go to those circuits are so valuable.
It fits everything. That kind of leads to my next question. So can you give some advice for the kids who still have their best basketball ahead of them, their best circuit ahead of them, their best tournament ahead of them? What have you seen as an evaluator that gets these kids these interests, even some offers? Like, what kind of basketball tendencies do you see that, like, oh, they have a common denominator? These kids are getting like that because they're playing X, Y, and Z. Like, what are some of those traits like kids that are getting recruited have?
It's all it's all intangibles. If you honestly want a checklist, and this is what I tell a lot of the high school guys that I work out, there is literally you got to just do your research. Like checklist on the internet for you of everything a college coach will look and want, and it's an article by Jay Bilas called Toughness. You read that article, he has a book also. Go look up that article. And if you literally use that as a checklist, so what I did for one of my years in college, a stack of that article out was my freshman year of college. I did a stack of that article out when Coach Cosgrove showed it to us. He showed it to us at the beginning of the season. Printed a stack of it out, and for my like 1 month of practice, after every practice, I go back to my dorm and I literally use it as a checklist. And like, did I do this today? Did I do this today? Did I do this today? And I use it as a checklist. And a lot of those things are like they're not basketball talent things. It's like screening hard, cutting hard, communicate, being in your help spots, stuff like that. Like I know guys don't think that guys think, oh, this dude scored 30 in this AAU tournament. He's going to get a scholarship. College coaches do not care about scoring in AAU. Scoring in AAU is not scoring in college basketball. There's no help defense. AAU, a lot of the times, especially, they don't practice as much. Now they do a little bit more, especially when I play AAU. They didn't really practice. It's all a showcase of talent. So if you're playing the right way, you're going to look amazing if you're in your right health spots, if you're screening hard, rolling hard, offensive rebounding, sprinting the floor, getting to your correct spacing, all IQ and intangible stuff, if you're doing that in AAU, especially in an AAU setting, you're going to look incredible. And it's going to catch a coach's eye
Mm.
because a coach can always play somebody that offensive rebounds, defends, talks, even if he can't make a shot. I've seen so many people that don't produce at all on offense that play 25 minutes a game. And coaches want those guys because they have no egos. They don't need a bunch of shots. They can fit into any
Hmm.
system, any style of basketball. You defend, rebound, don't turn the ball over, and take a super shot. You can play any
And it
position.
also goes back to the trust too. Like, I can trust a guy who's gonna run hard, who's gonna talk, who's gonna set hard screens, who's gonna their teammate falls, they're picking up every time. Doesn't matter if they knock them over. Like, those are the guys who are going to play.
That's
So that's my advice for any incoming freshman, incoming transfer. Just play hard, play the right way. You're going to gain trusting yourself first. That's what's most important. You're gonna be like, oh, I can play. I'm affecting the game. I'm confident in my moves and I'm keeping it simple. So you have trust in yourself and your teammates. That's gonna rub off on your teammates. Like, oh, he just sent me a hard screen. I just got the easiest bucket of my life because he doesn't know me from anything. Comes in, sets a hard screen. Oh, he's talking on DV, he's helping me out. I didn't get obliterated by a senior on the screen. Also, I could trust him, and then you guys are all building chemistry. It's good energy, and then of course, like, oh, that unit, first unit, they didn't really talk. Second unit, they're flying, they're talking, they're diving on loose balls. It looks ugly, but it gets prettier as the season goes on, and then you guys are playing flawless basketball. So I feel like that's a great point, and that's great insight.
I mean, I have it up right here. None of these are scoring plays.
Yeah, could you read some of them off?
Set a good screen, set up your cut, talk on defense, jump to the ball, don't get screened, get your hands up, play the ball, see your man, get on the floor, post your man, not a spot, run the floor hard, play so hard your coach has to take you out, get to your teammate
Mm,
first, take responsibility for your teammates, take charges, finish plays, work on your passing, throw yourself into your team's defense, take and give criticism the right way, show strength in
mm,
your body language, catch the ball and face up, don't get split when you trap, be alert, concentrate and encourage your teammates to concentrate. It's not your shot, it's our shot. Box out and go to the glass every time. Take responsibility for your actions. Look to your coach and your teammate. Look your coach and your teammates in the eye. Move on to the next play. Be hard to play against and easy to play with. Make every game important and make getting better every day your goal in the fight. Not one of those
easy,
offensive. It's all easy things that are hard to do and hard to remember. Like you
consistently,
have to focus on doing each thing, but they're all individually easy things to do. And that's why I
exactly.
said just use it as a checklist. I printed out a stack of them. I used it every day for a month as a checklist.
That's beautiful. Now, last question of the pod is going to be the same for everybody. What have you learned on your journey? What would you change? What wouldn't you change? And how has that made you the person in front of me today?
So what's the first question is
Yeah, like, exactly. Yep.
I've learned is adversity is the greatest teacher, especially my time at Trinity. Me, well, all the guys we always say, like, God might not always be there when you want him, but he's always there. Junior year, we lost to Williams at Williams on a buzzer beater. A lot of adversity in that moment. Could have folded, could have let that affect the rest of our season. It was our first loss of the season. Stuck with it, kept going, got a chance to play them in the conference championship at their place, had a chance to win it and did win it at their place. Same thing happened against Wesleyan this year. Lost to them at home in a pretty embarrassing fashion. Didn't get blown out, but just like really needed to win that game. Lost a close one, get a chance to go to Wesleyan for the conference championship this year and win that one. Like just sticking with it through adversity. Both of those times we could have had a very different reaction to the adversity and we wouldn't capitalize on that opportunity at all. Lost in the final four my junior year. We get to go back instead of pouting about it, being nervous about the fact that we lost the last one. We used the adversity as a lesson. Kind of got outplayed in that trying game because we weren't ready for the moment in the final four my junior year, and then my senior year we were beyond ready for that moment against Wesleyan. And the game looked very similar in the beginning, but we used that adversity as a lesson, up being a conference rival and then getting to play at NYU. I mean, I think everybody, at least Division III basketball, watched that game, watched Henry not play well in the first half and start the game shooting over whatever he shot. Everyone just continuing on our sideline to encourage him, even though watching back the game for the first time, watching letting the announcers harping on how bad he's shooting. It's so funny to see the difference in how they were talking about him shooting poorly and how we were talking about him shooting poorly on the sideline and telling him to keep shooting. And they were acting like he was shooting us out the game, but in reality, we all knew like that's every shot he took in that first half. If he shoots it 5 times, throwing 5 out of 5 times, and that was an anomaly. Just again, God's not always there in the last 2 minutes, and he stuck with it in the same way that everyone on our team sticks with it through adversity. That's probably the biggest lesson I've learned. One thing I would change, I wouldn't change anything. If I could do it over, I'd do it all over again. What I wouldn't change is obviously where I went to school, the program I played in, things I learned, taking with me for the rest of my life. So
And that concludes the first episode of the P Pod. Alex, thank you again for
appreciate
being
you
on
for
here.
having me.
Appreciate you, my guy.
This is a good way to do the first one. We had to do the first one like this.
Oh, 100%.